Okay, 3.4, the percent equation. I lost my glasses. Hold on. Here we go. All right. This section is going to be easier, in my opinion, than what we've been struggling with, okay? Whether we get it all done today or not, this stuff's a little bit, it's stuff that you've been taught before at some point. It's stuff that you can actually wrap your head around. It makes sense, okay? It's not where you have to sit there and figure out, is this the model, is this the actual, is this, or is this that? What are they asking me to do? It's basic. You need to do this, turn this into that, and it's just black and white, okay? So there's no guessing in this thing. Take really good notes though, because you will want to refer back to these, just in case. Here we go. Percent. I also don't have quite as many notes for this stuff. Is a ratio.
Like all the other stuff.
Exactly. Of a number to 100. Basically, when dealing with percents, you're dealing with 100. That's what you need to know. What we're doing today are two totally different things. They put it all in one section. We are learning how to change percents to decimals and to fractions, going back and forth, back and forth. If I give you a percent, I may say change it to a decimal. Or I give you a fraction and say change it to a percent. That's a few extra steps in that situation. Then we're going to be doing something that I've always enjoyed, writing out like equations when dealing with percent. That stuff, I don't know why I enjoy that, but there's clues with the words and everything. Remember is, what is all the time?
Equal.
Equals, what is of all the time?
Time. Wait, is that the thing where you would switch it to the other side?
No, this is even easier. And this is easier. Let's start off with the percents, changing them back and forth, and then we'll get to that. It's like literally the next page. Okay, here's what we're doing today. Let's say I have 40%. If I write that as a decimal, I would write it like that. If I write it as a fraction, I would write 40 over 100, and we reduce that to 4 over 10. Okay, shh. Yes, you could. You could even reduce it even further to 2 over 5. All of these, still 40%. Now, let's go into detail. Do y'all have this written down? Matthew, you got that written down? Do you have it written? Okay, good. I wasn't sure. All right. Let's say I want to write 82% as fraction. I mean, we're going to just jump in. Less words. I'd rather do examples all day than words anyway. Let's change 82% to a fraction in decimal. Let's start with fraction. Franz?
Put 82 over 100.
Over 100, guys. Always, always, always. You know why? What places, if I were to show you like up here, oh no, I don't want to tell you that. That'll confuse you. When you deal with percent, put it over 100. Now, we have to reduce it.
That would be 4150.
How did you get 41 over 50?
Divided by 2.
Divided by 2 on top and bottom. We're reducing, simplifying. So that becomes 41 over 50. So that's the fraction. That's how you change it to fraction. Yes, ma'am. I'm about to.
Sorry.
Oh, no, you want to do it. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Let me show a trick first. Okay? All right, does anyone have any questions about this? Matthew, do you have a question? Okay, so you just take it, put over 100, reduce it, right? That's not bad. All right, let's change it to a decimal.
Easier part.
Now, there's all kinds of different ways you could do this. But the way I like is pretend you have a imaginary decimal right there. Do y'all see that? Have imaginary decimal? And you move it to the left 2 places. And you get 80.82. There you go. Huh?
I forgot that you remembered that term right there.
See? Knew you have a question?
If on the test you got 50 questions and you got a 9 of your round, you still got a 82%.
What?
Okay. If on the test you got 50 questions and you got
So
41
each one's 2 points each.
So you got 41 correct, but you have 82%.
Are you talking about this? Oh, okay, well, it's based on like 100. Like I just said, each one's 2 points. Then what's 41 times 2? 82.
Right.
Yeah. Does that make sense or no? Okay, so everything is kind of like, okay, I'll give you another example. If I don't have this device when I'm grading y'all stuff, if I don't, like I have an app now on my phone, so I don't have to carry that around. I take how many questions are on things. Like if there were 20 questions, that goes into 100 5 times. So each question's worth 5. Does that make sense? Is that not answering your question?
I'm just wondering.
Oh, okay.
How would you figure out that 41 over 50 would be 82%?
Because remember, we're dealing with 100. So how many times does 50 go into 100? 2 times 41 gives you 82. So we're going back. I'm going to get to that. But you can, to figure it out, there's going to be 2 different ways that you can go from this right here to a percent. But let me get through this, and then I'm going to discuss that. In fact, where am I? I'll show you in a minute. Okay. Maybe I should show you now. Let me finish this. All right, y'all are distracting me now. Okay, with awesome questions. You always, those of you that are new or didn't have me last year, to change from a percent to a decimal, you move the imaginary decimal 2 places left. Always 2. Does anyone want to tell anyone why it's 2 places, chap?
Because it's 100 and that's 2 zeros.
Because there's 2 zeros. So always move it 2 places left. That's only when changing from percent to decimal. All right, this is good. Seeing this better already? All right, so this place is in what? The hundreds place. So last digit should be, in hundreds place. Okay, so last digit should be in hundreds place. Now, let's just say I have a decimal and I want to change it to percent. Matt, you want to guess what I do? Yeah, how many places? There you go. Move it right 2 places. Make sure you're writing everything I am doing. Chap?
What if you had like 82.5? How would the last digit be in the hundred?
Okay, let's say you have 82.5 and you want to change it to a percent.
Or a fraction?
Well, if we change it to a percent, we move it 2 places to the right, add a 0, and it's this.
Oh no, I meant like 82.5%.
Oh, okay. So if it's 82.5%, and we want to make it into a decimal, we still, oh, I see what you're saying. Move it 2 places. And we get 0.825 is the thing.
But you said it had to be in the hundreds. Yeah, that rule doesn't always.
It doesn't. This would be the thousandths place. Yeah, you're right. But you still move it just 2 places. You're right. What?
Did you keep learning or something?
They share the same brain. Okay.
We do.
Any questions though? It's pretty self-explanatory, right? Going back and forth. All right, let's talk about the fraction one. Does everyone have this down? You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say I have 3/5. And we want to change it to decimal and percent.
You should already know the
Hold on. Hold on. Some people don't. We got to show the actual process of doing it. Let's start with looking for the decimal. Okay? Now you can do it 2 ways. Like, okay, for example, I'm going to go the hardest way, and then I'll show you the easier way. You want to try it?
Yeah.
How do I change this to a decimal?
Top and bottom out.
Do what?
Top and bottom out.
What does that mean?
Right. The top one.
Are you talking about dividing?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know
The
what she
top
meant.
one goes in, the bottom goes. Yeah. The bottom.
Oh, I see what she's saying.
Yeah, man and the horse.
The man and the horse. But I didn't. I thought it was like some crazy math term that she learned from her last school or something like that. It was like topping.
Wait, what does man and horse mean?
Okay, so we're dividing. That's what was left out of this conversation. You divide, and this is the cowboy, this is the horse. What goes into the house, the man or the horse?
The horse.
No, they have too big a poo. The horse goes on the outside. The cowboy goes on the inside.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're talking about.
And the cowboys.
So basically, Miranda, when you want to change it from a fraction to a decimal, you divide. So you put the cowboy in
That's
there.
the hard way. Mhm.
Yeah.
And what's the easy way?
I'm about to show you. So can
Just
5
know
go?
it.
Shh, can 5 go into 3? No, it can't go in 3. So we're going to put a decimal and a 0. And I'm going to put the decimal on top. Y'all better be writing all this down. Franz, you're not even facing the board. Come on, buddy. Okay, so 5 goes into 36 times. I subtract and I get 0. So my answer in decimal form is 0.6. Now, to change it to percent, all I need to do is bring this over here. And how many places do I move it to the right?
2.
Oops, how many places do I move it? 2 places and to the right. I shouldn't have given that away. 2 places.
Or multiply by 100.
You can multiply by 100, but this is way easier.
I know. Oh my
There we go. 60%. Now, you could also do it as, and it works sometimes, like with the last fraction that we just did. So Miranda, how many times does 5 go into, can 5 go into 100, by the way? How many times? Okay.
I know.
Franz, how many times can 5 go into 100?
It's 20.
Okay, so look, Miranda, real quick. If the bottom number can go evenly into 100, see how many times, so 5 times 20 gives you 100, then multiply it on top as well. You get 60. So we know that if it's over 100, then it's just 60%.
Yeah, I remember that.
Huh? Okay, so hold on just a second. So the other one was 41 over 50, right? So when we're dealing with percent, we need to put it over 100. And these are the easy ones. Sometimes the denominator doesn't go evenly into 100, so then you've got to divide. In this case, 50 goes into 100 evenly. It goes in there 2 times. So 50 times 2 is 100. If I multiply that by 2, I get, what was it? 82, which is 82%. Because anything over 100, to get your percent, if it's over 100, you just write it like that. Miranda? Okay, so make sure you have, Matthew, calm the beat. Make sure you have all of this down so that when, even if you're like, yeah, I remember this from last year, oh yeah, I know how to do this. You don't know that when you start your independent work that you may forget, and I've got these notes here. Yes.
When the way I remember my 5 fractions, like on how to turn them into percents and decimals, I would always think, okay, just multiply the top number by 2 and add a 0. And it worked for all the 5 fractions.
All the
I don't know
five.
about-
Oh, the
oh, yeah,
five
all
fractions.
All the 5 fractions. That's how I remember. How I remember.
What's a 5 fraction?
The ones with the 5 on the bottom.
If there's, yeah, I didn't understand either.
Wouldn't there only be one 5? Like 5?
No, there's 5 5s.
Okay, stop. Y'all are confusing me. It's Friday. It's after lunch. Don't do that. Does everyone have any questions yet?
But you know how to convert that fraction and you don't even have to do the work.
What are you talking about?
Well, if a lot of us.
You know that 3 over 5 is 0.6.
Not everyone does.
Yeah.
Seriously, not everyone does.
If you have a problem with
Matt, seriously, you gotta look beyond, like, okay, in this classroom alone, we have a million different learning styles. We may even have some learning disabilities that prevent people from actually memorizing all the fractions, the conversions. So therefore, some people can, and that's incredible. That's gonna save you a ton of work, right?
But will you let us do it?
If you know it,
Or will you make us do the work?
If we get it right.
if you do it in class, okay, so here, I'll make a deal with you. If you have memorized all the fractions and decimals, the conversions, and I even have a poster, but of course this is the only place I can put a poster and don't have room. If you have memorized it, that's fine. You can do that, okay? That's gonna actually cut your time in half on work, right? But when you go home, I'm gonna need you to show work. So if you get your work done in class, then that's fine. But if you're at home, I'm gonna need you to show work, just because I gotta make sure you understand it. Yes.
Also, you can check yourself. Are you sure?
Oh yeah. Exactly. I wasn't sure what you're
If
saying.
you get it wrong and you don't show any work in class, you probably want to do it out.
Yes.
Let's take more time.
Okay. Let's change 1.55 into a percent and fraction. Valeria, let's change this into a percent. How do I do that?
Move the decimal to the right.
That's right, 2 places, and I get 155%. Okay, let's take 155% and change that into a fraction. Franz, you want to do this? Wait, yes?
So if you don't memorize like the converting and all that,
dividing and stuff. Or you can either divide to get 0.6 or do it like I did here and then move the decimal over two places.
To get to a percent from a decimal or fraction, you have, or from a fraction, you have to do the decimal then first. Like up there.
Right here? Yeah.
You have to memorize it, you have to do that.
Yes.
Okay, can I do it?
Okay, so how would I change this to a
So there's already 155%. So 100 will equal 1. Just one solid 1.
what?
155 over 100.
There you go.
So it'll be 1 and then
Well, wait. Just all you need to do is reduce this.
Yeah.
So what number can go into both?
5. We already one on top, 20 on the bottom.
There you go.
But how do we don't have it improper fraction?
You can keep it as improper fraction. If you want to take it out, you know how to do that. We understand this.
Yeah.
This isn't quite as bad as the last couple days, right?
Although that's not really just
No. Yeah, that's what he was saying. Can we turn it into mixed number? Okay, so all of you that are doing it the right way, I know Matthew goes crazy when I say just leave it in proper fraction. No, I cannot do that. So
It'll be 1
1,
and then 11, 20.
there you go.
Proper fractions are so improper.
I understand. Any questions so far? All right, y'all have this down?
Yep.
All right, here we go, chap, wake up. All right, percent equation. This is that whole percent times whole equals part. Percent equation is percent times whole equal part. Write that down. But if you are my student from last year, you will remember, do I make you have to figure that out? No, there's clues where you don't have to worry about that. Now, sometimes, like in word problems and everything like that, you got to figure out what the part is and what the whole. However, 90% of the time, it's going to be written differently. Do y'all have this down? For example, the question is, what percent of 85 is 17? What percent of 85 is 17? Make sure you write that down. Matthew, you have it down? Write it down, because I'm about to show you a trick. Not really a trick, it's more like how to do it. Sophia, what does of mean? Times. 85, what does is mean? New. And then 17. Do we know what percent? That's what they're asking, right? Right?
Right.
So then what do I call this, chap?
P.
Okay, he wants to call it P. So let's see. Matthew, what is P times 85? 85P equals 17. Now what am I doing, Valeria?
Dividing by 85.
That's right, we're solving for the percent, which is P, so we're dividing both sides by 85. And I get P equals, new? Huh?
20%.
Okay, what did you get? 17 divided by 85 is 0.2. Okay, guys, this is the tricky part. They're asking for a percent. So we work it out, and if you use your calculator or not, you get 0.2. But then we have to change it to percent. And how do we do that again? Valeria?
Move the decimal to the side line.
So then the percent is 20%. There you go. Make sure and I'll tell you, if you do not have that, if you don't change it, if you give me 0.2, it's wrong. If you just give me 20 and leave off the percent sign, it's wrong. This is different than like the other labels and stuff like that. This actually makes a huge difference. 20% and just 20 are two completely different things. The most common mistake out of all of my students is that they forget to change it to percent. My suggestion is have a highlighter or something else so that when you have these problems, like in your book, and they're asking for percent, highlight that. Underline it, whatever, so that you remember to change it so you don't get it wrong. Any questions?
No.
All right. Does everyone have it down? Matthew, you got it down? All right, good. Let's do another one. What is 45% of 236? What is 45% of 236? This time, they gave us the percent. They didn't ask us what the percent was. This time, they gave it to us. So, Miranda, what is? What is of? Yep. I bring down my 236. Does anyone remember what do I have to do to this percent, Morgan?
Turn it to a decimal.
Turn it to a decimal. And how do I do that?
Move the decimal imaginary decimal point 2 times the left.
So I get 0.45. If you do not change it, it's bad. So this what is what we're looking for. What can I call it?
X.
Let's call it X. So now, let's rewrite the problem here. I have X equals 0.45 times 236. Has anyone worked this out already? Chat?
I got 105.2.
New, what'd you get? What?
94.4.
For 0.45 times 236? Anyone else get something different?
My calculator's dead.
I didn't use my calculator.
What'd you get?
106.2.
It's 106.2.
Yeah, I missed it by 1 because I didn't care.
But that would be a wrong answer.
I know. That's
All right, any questions about that? So see, instead of really focusing on what's the percent, what's the whole, what's the part, just write it out and write down what they gave you and what's missing. Make sure you always change the percent to a decimal. And if they're asking, like up here for the percent, make sure you change your answer into a percent. Any questions about that? All right, let's do another. 78 is 130% of what number? $78 is 130% of what number? Valeria, what is? I'll let you finish writing it down. Do you have it already?
Yeah.
What is? Huh?
Dividing.
No. You need to phone a friend?
Where's multiplying?
No. Look above at the last example.
Equals.
There you go. Equals. So we have 78 equals. Matt, what do I need to do with this?
Make it decimal.
How do I do that?
Move it over to
Places which direction?
left.
Very good. Move it 2 places to the left.
130.
1.3. You can say 1.3 or 1.30. I don't care. What is of, Valeria?
Multiplying.
Very good. And what number? We don't know what it is, so Matthew, what can I call it? X. Okay, let's rewrite this. 78 equals 1.3 times X. What is 1.3 times X, Miranda? So 78 equals 1.3x. Now what do I do, Sophia? Both sides by what? 1.3. And so therefore x equals, raise your hand if you already got it. Chap,
60.
there you go.
Oh, let me put a percent there.
Because they didn't ask for percent. They gave you the percent in the problem. They're asking just what number. And that right there, guys, again, my students tend to do just fine. They have to concentrate on each one what they're asking for. If they're asking for a number, then you're just giving them a number. If they're asking for a percent, make sure you change it to a percent. Any questions? Bless you. All right, let's open up your books.
It's almost time to get the little alarm thing. The alert.
No, there's not.
So
No, it's not. Shh. Page 114, examples. Start number 1. Matthew, read the directions. Yeah, you need your book. All right, let's see. Morgan, can you read the directions?
for each percent, fraction, or decimal, state the equivalent expressions in the other two forms.
All right, so number 1, they give us 69%. So then the other two forms are going to be decimal and fraction. So Miranda, how would I turn this into, let's do a decimal first, or whichever one you want. Okay, so how do I turn that into a decimal? 2 to the left. And I get 0.69. Let's see. Franz, how do I change it to a fraction?
So we have 69%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put 69 over 100.
And it cannot be reduced, so that's your answer.
Yeah.
So that's all you do. All right, number 3. It's 75%. Matthew, what's the decimal? 0.75. Because we moved it over 2 places. What is the fraction, Valeria?
75%.
Well, there's 75%, so how do I do it in fraction form?
75 over 100.
Very good. And then let's reduce it. What number or what do you want to try? Okay, you can go with 5. How many times does 5 go into 75?
Are you asking me?
Yep.
Oh, 18.
You sure?
No. Or 6.
You want to phone a friend?
16.
You want to phone a friend?
Sure.
Matthew,
13?
is he right?
No.
You want to phone a friend?
I didn't know you had one.
Hold on.
15.
There you go. And what would be the bottom number, Valeria?
100.
100 divided by 5
20.
is she right? Okay. Now, is that in lowest terms?
No.
Okay, so what can I do now? What number can go on top and bottom? Yep. 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. And 20 divided by 5 is 4. So there's your fraction form. Okay? Any questions? Do you have a question? All right, let's do number 7. 7's a little bit different. It's 3.5. They gave us a decimal. Sophia, change it to a percent for me. Okay, we move the decimal 2 places to the right, tack in a 0, so it's 350%. And then the next one's going to have to be fraction again, so how would I do that? Let's see, new. Okay. By what? 50. She's going to reduce it by 50. 50 can go into both. Okay, so 350 divided by 50 is what new? Over 2. And if you need it to be in mixed number, what would it be?
3
Over 1/2.
New. And it's not 3 over 1/2. What is it new?
3 over 1/2.
It's 3 next to a half.
However you say it.
3 and 1/2.
3.5. Very good. Any questions? Let's look at number 9. $15 over 2. We need to change that to percent and decimal. So Morgan, how would I change that to decimal?
First, you would put it over 100.
Put
That's
what
a
over
typo.
100?
Hmm?
This fraction?
No, you change the decimal to it being like 100. Like the denominator would be 100.
Oh, okay, I see what you're doing. You're changing it to 100. Okay.
And then since you get 2 times 50 is 100, you multiply the numerator the same amount. So 15 times 50 is 750. And then that would give you your percent. So it's 750%. And then you move the decimal 2 places to the left, which would give you 7.5 as your decimal.
My gosh, I can't write that fast. You move it 2 places to the left, and you get
7.5.
7.5.
How do you know if it's not 2 and it's 100? How would you know what it is if it's not like 2?
You divide. 2 goes into 15 7 times. 7 times 2 is 14. Subtract. Now I'm going to put my decimal and add a 0. 2 goes in 10, 5. So you can do it either way. Because in all reality, especially with Algebra 1, you may have a denominator that does not go evenly into 100. So you'll probably have to do the dividing. So you need to, be able to do it either way. Any questions about that? Make sure you have it all written down. Got it? Valeria, you got it?
Yeah.
You sure? All right. Let's look at number 11. Matthew, read the directions for me.
Find 84% of 150.
No, the directions, silly goose.
Write the whatever word
Appropriate.
appropriate percent equation and solve. Round decimals to the nearest hundred and percents to the nearest whole percent.
Okay, so that's important information right there. You may want to underline it or highlight it or something, that we're going to round decimals to the nearest hundred and percents to the nearest whole percent. Okay, so 11 is find 84% of 150. All right, guys. Chat, what is of? I'm bringing down my 150. What do I do to the 84%?
Change it to a decimal.
And I do that how?
You move it over to the, that way.
That way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way.
So I have 0.84. So I have 0.84 times 150. Valeria? Okay, do you have a question?
No.
Okay, so on this, that's all we're doing. Chat, did you get an answer?
126.
Very good. So when you have words like that in there, just do that. Of,
Change it to the
do what?
Would you have to change to the two directions?
That they said just round if you need to. And the answer, round your answers if you need to. You don't need to round anything. That's all you do for that.
Wait, I have a question. So if
Okay.
technically, since you have two decimals, wouldn't it be,
I don't have two decimals. That's
1.26?
times.
no. Decimal 84
Two
times
zeros, two
decimal.
zeros.
Okay. Wouldn't that be 126?
No.
No, because if you multiply, you'd have two zeros at the end. And you would just cancel it.
Very good. 13. 58% of what number is 48? Valeria,
Yeah.
do you have it written down?
Yeah.
What is of?
Times
What is?
equals
Then we have 48. What do I do to the percent?
turn it into a decimal.
What do you get?
0.58.
And it says what number? We don't know what number, so what can I call? X? All right. So, Valeria, what is 0.58 times X?
0.58x.
I'm going to rewrite my problem real quick. All right, so 0.58 times X is 0.58X equals 48. What do I do now, Valeria?
Divided both sides by 0.58.
Perfect. These cancel out. Matthew, do you have an answer?
28.
Did you do 48 divided by 0.58?
No, times.
Okay, we're divided. Try that. Brandon, do you have a question?
Yeah.
What? Matthew, did you get it?
Yeah, it's a really good number.
What did you get?
Well, there's lots of decimals. There's lots of numbers.
Does it start with 82?
Yes.
Okay, so you have 82 point what? Start telling me.
7, 5, 8.
All right, stop there. You read the directions. What did it say to round decimals to?
The 100.
The hundredths place. What digits in the hundredths place, Matthew?
7. Wait, no.
That's right, you're right. 5. So we can stop, look to the right. 8 is greater than 5. So then what do I do to this 5? Change it to a.
6.
That's right. So then my answer is 82.76. Okay, do you understand why we divided, Matthew? Huh?
Yes, because you timed x to 58 and then you got that.
Then we had.
And you were multiplying the x, so you had to divide.
There you go. Do y'all have all of this written down?
No.
Okay, you need to write this down. We have 2 more. I'm going to do like I have done in the past. We did notes the entire time, so I'm going to give you the assignment, and it'll be due Tuesday. You can do it over the weekend, or you can wait and do it on Monday. I don't want to ruin anyone's weekend. Matthew, you got it down?
Yes.
All right. Let's look at, let's see, that was 13. Let's look at 15. Find 50% of 3/4. All right. Morgan, what do I do? Change that to a,
Fourths.
to what?
You change. I'm sorry, I was writing another thing. You change that to a decimal, and the up sign is multiplying sign.
So she's changing this to a decimal and then multiplying 3/4.
And 3/4, the decimal is 0.75.
Okay, so she changed this fraction into a decimal. So 0.5 or 0.50 times point what?
75.
So then she is multiplying. And what do you get?
I don't have my calculator, but I'm looking it up. I believe 37.5.
Does
I
everyone?
I got .375.
That's like a
0.375?
Yeah.
Okay. Now did it say with any speculation? Okay.
Oh, because it's 4. Oh my bad. I thought it was 2.
So basically you can keep it like that.
you have to round it though.
Oh yeah, they did say to do that. So this would be the hundredths place. We look to the right. What is the actual answer? Morgan?
0.38.
There you go. Now you could have changed this to a fraction and multiplied it by fractions. It would be a half times 3/4. That would give you 3/8. So either way, I'll say or. You can do either one. Yes, Matthew? No. Because in in 7 minutes, we're doing the lockdown. I'm afraid you won't get back in time. Can you wait?
That'd be terrible.
Not really.
Is it real lockdown?
If it is
I have to have you back in like 2 minutes.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, but it's also on you to get this last example. All right, last one.
give permission to run.
No, he does not.
If it was
Does everyone have this? Valeria, did you have it all? Miranda, did you have it all? Okay,
Got it.
last
So
one.
if it was an intruder, the running rule goes instead of not being.
If it was a real intruder, yes, I would
yeah, it would
make
be
him
legal.
run. All right, 17. 175% of 18,900 is what number? All right, Miranda, you want to do it? All right. Okay.
Do 1.75
All right, so we're changing this to 1.75, whoops, 5
times
times
18,900
equals what?
n.
Okay, n. Very good. All right, 1 point. She changed this to decimal, so do you have your calculator with you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, tell me what you get.
33,075.
Yes?
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Any questions? Yes.
Why would the letter change?
What do you mean change?
W.
Oh, I don't know, because last year I was looking at that. Yeah, I just confused everyone. It's N, sorry. Thank you, Valeria. Looking at the notes from last year. All right, you're going to be doing, and again, this is due Tuesday, page 114 to 116.
When is our test?
Shh. No, I'm still doing this. It's Friday, so I'm going to do everyone. Does 2 through 20 even? And, ooh, that's a good one. 44, oh yeah. 46, ooh, that's even better.
It's Friday, it's due Tuesday.
48
Yeah, I already have stuff to do.
and 50. This is due, shh, this is due Tuesday of next week. Your IXL, the first two
Do Monday.
due Monday. The next two will be due, you know, I'll sign those after this because one of them has to do with this. Excuse me, I'm still talking. I am considering having, and no, I am. You're having a quiz on Wednesday over 3.2, 3.3, and 3.4. May prolong us getting to the end of the chapter, but I don't care. I need this stuck in your head before. Shh, yes. I need this, excuse me, I need this stuck in your head before the 4-day weekend.
We have the quiz on the converting. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, luckily we don't have the
It's a quiz.
3.1.
Focus on proportions.
What's
It's
3.1?
that
Oops,
it's
I gotta
setting me
change.
up for failure.
No,